Hello, my name is Riyaj. I am from the Computer and System Sciences Department at Stockholm University. On behalf of my co-authors Anubha, Singh, Barry Brown, and Airi Lampinen, I would like to present our work titled Not Just a Dot on the Map, Food Delivery Workers as Infrastructure. In this paper, we present a set of our findings and analysis from an ethnographic study of an online food delivery platform in India. We recognize a food delivery platform as a location-based service, and we show how it reduces the food delivery workers' physical presence on the ground to minimal quantifiable data points, such as their GPS locations. And when needed, it selectively recognizes and represents certain aspects of their physical bodies. We are interested in such changing representation in terms of what they imply for the workers, what kind of troubles they result in as they carry out their work. We discuss how, beyond this reduced selective representation, food delivery workers, with their ability to deal with the gig platform's opaque location-based logic, they shape critical infrastructure for the platform, which is essential for the functioning of this platform. We also argue for worker-centered design and discuss why and how might we center gig workers' bodily needs in platform work. Today, I'm sharing a couple of stories from the findings explaining this reduction and selective representation of workers' bodies. These stories will also talk about the delivery workers' ways to deal with the troubles caused by the platform's location-based rules. These findings are derived from the ethnographic research I performed in Pune, India during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm originally from India, born and brought up not very far from this city. Within constraints imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic and respecting all the regulations imposed by the state and the central governments, my research methods evolved over the period of time. In our paper, we explain the precautionary and ethical measures taken during the fieldwork in detail. I started connecting with the food delivery workers over the phone during the strict lockdown phase, and then when allowed to step out during the unlock phase, I started visiting the locations where these food delivery workers wait for the next order or when the allocated order is being prepared. I had informal conversations with these guys and I spent time observing them. After this sort of relationship building phase, eventually I approached them to record their delivery rides with an action camera mounted on a helmet. When allowed, I sat with them on the pillion seat during these rides and had an open-ended conversation about the ride and their work. These conversations were in Marathi, local language Marathi and Hindi. Interviews and conversations were translated and transcribed to perform multiple rounds of thematic analysis. We also performed detailed video analysis for the videos collected during these ride-along sessions. Let's start with the first set of findings that explains food delivery platforms' dependency on the workers' GPS location. So these gig platforms like food delivery or ride-hailing platforms, they are geographically situated. They rely on digitally mapped territories to plot their services and need to know at least 3 live locations marked on the digital map. The worker's current location, the pickup location, and the delivery location. This much information is needed to shape the delivery workflow at 3 crucial stages: order allocation, second is order pickup, and the last is order completion. The platform continuously tracks every logged in delivery worker's GPS location, and the platform's logic of order location remains a point of speculation among the workers. Although many strongly believe that the distance from the prospective pickup spot is a key factor in deciding who gets the next order, many thought that they will receive an order only if they are near the pickup location. With such speculations, the workers tried to match their location with the popular pickup location. Earlier, a restaurant's or a pickup spot's location was shown as a pin on the map, on the digital map. So workers used to gather in groups near a popular pickup location, and knowing that their GPS location is actually their mobile phone's GPS location, they stacked their mobile phones at a spot where their location, which is their mobile phone's GPS location, would match with the restaurant's pin location on the map. So in such scenario, while riders at a waiting spot might have appeared to the platform as a cluster of dots, a bunch of active GPS locations, What we saw on the ground was that the riders used this space and time to socialize, to form momentary collaborations and enhance their local knowledge, which is very much needed for the successful order completion. Next, after accepting the order, a food delivery worker has to drive to the pickup location and mark as reached on their mobile phone, mobile application, informing the restaurant about their arrival and readiness to pick up the order. To ensure that the worker can make this announcement only after physically reaching the pickup location, the platform allows riders to announce their arrival only within a radius of 500 meters from the pickup location. The platform relies again on the rider's mobile GPS location to confirm that the rider is within these defined boundaries. While the platform relies on such strict yet seemingly simple rules to manage the work, on the ground, delivery work is often more complicated. During the pandemic, for example, in the early phase of the strict lockdowns, some small restaurants they shifted their kitchens to the owners' homes to save on operating costs without updating their address on the with the platform. And the platform could learn about this ground reality only after a delivery worker reached the pickup location and found out about the issue. Till then, the platform kept imposing the pickup radius, this 500-meter radius rule, on the riders based on the restaurant's registered location. To complete the order in such a situation, the delivery worker has to locate the new address, reach there, and then pick up the order. In one such situation, Vishu, one of our participant riders, he ended up earning nothing despite putting in these extra efforts because the customer cancelled the order after learning about the delay and the issue. So imposing location-based rules and showing workers' location to customers made it harder for the workers to repair the situation. I invite you to read our paper to know more about how the location-based rule, this platform's location-based logic, it affects the worker at the delivery location when they hand over the order to the customers. I will now move on to the second set of findings describing how the food delivery platform, moving beyond workers' GPS location, it started selectively acknowledging certain physiological aspects of their bodies during the pandemic. The platform made three major changes in the delivery workers app and some related tweaks in the customer app. First, collaborating with the partnered restaurant, it started recording riders' body temperature and then sharing it with the customers. Second, it imposed a masking mandate for the riders. And third, it gave an option for the customer to choose a contactless delivery. This seemed like an attempt to retain customers' trust in online food orders during the pandemic by portraying delivery worker as safe and sterile. Perhaps the most striking visual of this optics of safety appeared on the customer app, where the rider was illustrated as a superhero with a cape. Since the beginning of the pandemic, a rise in the body temperature from what is otherwise considered to be normal was widely accepted as a key symptom of COVID-19 infection. While a rise in body temperature alone is not enough to conclude any such infection, during the early days of the pandemic, trust in such a reading was instilled in the public discourse. We observed some restaurants proactively recording and showcasing their staff's body temperature readings on their food parcels. The gated communities, they authorized their security guards at the entry gate to check and record every visitor's body temperature. The food delivery platform asked the partnered restaurant to record the workers' body temperature when they arrived to pick up an order. This reading was then submitted to the platform and displayed on the customer app to inform customer that the person carrying their food had a normal body temperature. As a part of this change, the workflow on the workers app, the food delivery workers app, was also modified to ask the food delivery worker to confirm whether the restaurant had recorded their body temperature. During the unlock phase, however, we found that most of the delivery workers clicked yes, even though no such check was performed. And this is because the platform's exact arrangement with the restaurant to acquire the food delivery workers' body temperature, remained invisible and unclear to the food delivery workers. They did not know whether the restaurant shared their body temperature with the platform, or if the platform confirms food delivery workers' answers with the restaurant. In this arrangement, the rider's body, the food delivery worker's body, was acknowledged solely as a threatening body, as a possible carrier of the virus, rather than also as a body at risk. The platform made no efforts to measure the temperature of any other actor, such as restaurant staff or customer, and then share that data with the riders. Again, I invite you to read our paper to know how the platform imposed a mask mandate on workers by asking them to submit a selfie with the mask, and how, despite the contactless delivery option given to the customer, the riders were forced to deliver in areas where the COVID-19 infection was identified. Moving on to the discussions, so the customers see only a schematic visualization of riders' work, as we saw, like for example, like a dot representing their GPS location or a number indicating their normal body temperature. Such reduction is necessary and kind of enough for the algorithmic management to ensure and impose a specific type of workflow. We try to understand this reduction by drawing on the concept of infrastructure, where the complexity of the service is reduced or black boxed to the extent that it becomes invisible, hidden, or at times boring to understand. We argue that such infrastructure is made possible by delivery workers as a series of relationships between the restaurants and the workers, workers and the customer, worker and the platform, workers and other workers, or workers and ever-changing urban landscape of the city, and so on and so forth. As Starr and Rulder explains, such infrastructure becomes visible when it is broken, and then it seeks repairing. And this is what happened during the pandemic with the restrictions to prevent the spread of virus. The complexity of the food delivery work surfaced as the relational arrangement itself was broken down due to the constrained working context. And we could see workers along with the platform repairing this arrangement. This crucial part of their labor, however, was rendered invisible to the customer. Lastly, we discuss how platforms could have supported the workers better through designing both the technology and policy. For that, it becomes necessary to first attend to workers' corporeal variation, as opposed to how all bodies, genders, abilities, and disabilities are eventually reduced to just a dot on the map representing their live location. We propose these fundamental questions, and in quest of answering these questions, we see design possibilities like what it would like to design for tired food delivery worker who is wanting to take a break without impacting his or her income negatively, or why it can be so hard to imagine a setup where a food delivery worker, a female food delivery worker, could find the time and space during the logged in hours to breastfeed a child or pump milk without missing out on order allocation. After all, being able to take care of such needs is not that unimaginable when it comes to many other types of workers and work settings. I conclude with these pathways forward. We believe that we will benefit from understanding gig workers' infrastructure role in the platform design. This can be achieved by centering their bodily needs and well-being in the design process. We think the more promising opportunities may lie in two different directions. First, we may focus on designing alternative platforms that work with different starting points and different organizational models. Or second, we can make efforts to build up successor systems that coexist with the current platforms, yet carve out room to critique them and to generate knowledge and activity that is motivated from the perspective of the workers, and which are kind of attentive to their needs. So I leave you with our other related publications, and thank you for your attention.